Hey guys, this is Brittany Powers, and this is my Module 10 assignment for EDL 852. For this assignment, I'm going to discuss how I plan to meet students' expectations of myself. So expectation number 1 is relationships. How will I meet this expectation? I'll create time in my schedule for relationship building at the beginning of each day. So in my class, we do something called a morning meeting. So I would create plenty of time for students to share what's on their mind, to do like a quick activity, and to greet each other each day. I also would create friendship groups for new students who come, and I would try to connect those students to maybe other students who are not outgoing or have a difficult time getting involved with friendship groups. Next, I would plan to have counselor lessons with the students at least once every other week, and I would have the counselor build lessons that focus on developing social skills and connecting with their peers and with adults, and then to help students stay connected to people outside of their classes and other adults in the school building. I would create cohorts that have about 10 students in them, and I would create time in the schedule where everything stops in the school and those students get together with that one teacher, and the only thing on the agenda is connection between the students and that adult. Expectation number 2 is relevance. So how will I make learning relevant for students? The first thing I plan to do is conduct student interest surveys where I collect information about what students are interested in and then try to tailor all of those interests to be integrated into my lesson plans. The second thing I plan to do is create cohort groups. So this would be after school, but I would create groups that are focused specifically on what students are interested in and give them time to explore those interests with a trusted school leader who would help them also develop skills in that area and maybe create products in the areas of their interest. And the third thing I plan to do to make learning relevant is create assignments related to the real world. So I would build my lesson plans and give students an opportunity to create something that could be used out in the real world. Number 3, time. I will meet this expectation by creating must-do and may-do assignments. So what I mean by that is, like, if we have an hour of reading, I would give the students like a few things that have to be done in that time, and then outside of the must-dos, I would give them an option for several different things that they don't have to do, but they can choose out of those things based on what they're interested in. And if they don't want to choose a may-do, they can just spend the full hour on the couple of must-dos and really go more into detail with those assignments. The second thing I would do is allow students the option to take breaks as needed so that they don't feel overwhelmed by the schedule and they do feel freedom to take time for themselves throughout the day. Next, I would meet the expectation for timing by creating flexible due dates for students who want to work more in depth on certain assignments that they have interest in. I would also provide additional activities for those students who move really quickly and don't actually need a lot of time on certain assignments. So I would give them something else to put their hand to instead of spending time on an assignment that they're really feeling finished with. And third, I will try to plan realistic timeframes that allow students to go deep and do quality work. So instead of planning to hit 15 standards in 1 week, I'll maybe focus on 3 or 4 and teaching those really well and allowing students time to explore those really well. Expectation number 5 is play. So I will meet this expectation by creating time in my schedule every single day for breaks. So for younger students, that looks like brain breaks. So several times a day, we're stopping everything. Everybody's standing up, and the only thing on the agenda for that moment is moving and dancing or exercising. So in my room, we'll do like meditations. We'll do like a 5-minute yoga or like dance videos for the kids to follow along with. And I would also create a genius hour at the end of the day where students can choose whatever they want to work on. So it's similar to the must do, may do, but basically I have a choice board and they get to pick something that sounds fun to them and just take it easy for that last hour and work on something that they have chosen that they find interesting. Every now and then I'll also try to plan for learning outside. So for example, if we have 20 minutes of reading and writing, I might have everyone grab their journals and let's go sit in the field and do our reading and writing out there. And then every now and then, when weather appropriate, I'll create time in the schedule for walk and talks. So we have this track behind our school, and every now and then we'll just stop what we're doing and go out on the track, and everybody just does one lap. It's like a 1/3 mile, and we just talk and take a little break. Expectation number 6 is practice. So I will meet this expectation again by developing realistic schedules that value quality over quantity. So again, instead of planning to hit so many things in 1 week, I'll pick only a few things to cover and try to teach them really well and allow the students to explore them in a way that's not rushed or hurried, so that they have time to ask questions, make mistakes, edit and revise, so that they're really learning and mastering the content. Next, I will conduct assessments to determine when it's truly time to move on, when possible. So if we've been spending time on opinion writing, before moving on from opinion writing, maybe I'll come up with like a rule in my mind where in order for us to move on from this kind of writing, 75 or 80% of my students must have mastered it. And last, I will create that student choice hour or genius hour, I've heard it called, where students can revisit areas they need more work and have interest. So this genius hour is something that you can add to the end of your day where students can choose to work on items that they have interest in, or if they have a lot of unfinished work because they can't keep up with the schedule in our classroom, they can pull those things back out and complete those things in a less hurried fashion. Expectation number 7, choice. So I will meet this expectation by designing assignments that are broad and allow for student choice. I'll also create lessons that are tailored to my students' interests, and I would use that information from the student surveys to determine those. I would also do classroom votes every now and then, where the students get to allow what they're going to be working on next, or maybe what the structure of the day looks like. Again, must do and may do assignments allow for student choice, where they get to pace themselves and pick what they're working on. That genius hour is kind of the same thing. Students get to pick what they're working on. They can revisit things and spend more time on them. And kind of along with genius hour is choice boards. So I really love choice boards. Choice boards are basically like a board, and that can be a digital board or a physical board where you have like 10 assignments, and you give students 2 weeks or something where they can pick from those 10 assignments and choose what they want to do. So maybe they're only choosing 2 assignments, but they're going really in depth in those assignments. That's fine, because they have the time and they have the choice to be able to do that. Or maybe they want to hit all 14. It's up to them. Number 8, this expectation is for authenticity, and I will meet this need by using project-based learning, and I will design assignments that have real-life application. So an example of this is, I'll jump to the bottom, is content creating. So if you're doing a writing unit, maybe join that in with like allowing the students to create a blog where they're sharing their opinions or teaching others about things they're interested in, but they're still really focused on developing those writing skills at the same time. Another one is collaborating with local businesses and community members. So with this, you can bring in guest speakers, maybe a guest speaker from like a museum, or bringing in like artists or social marketing workers that can come in and talk to students about what they do, and work with the students to develop content of their own that could be used to help them learn whatever we're working on at school, but also have something to offer in the real world and keep for themselves moving forward in the future. So, maybe it allows me to assess their writing, but after they leave my class, they have a blog that they can continue to add to, or maybe they have an art portfolio that they can continue to add to. And the next one is community projects, and it goes along with the one below it, assignments to meet existing needs. So allowing the students to think about problems that exist in their own communities and come up with solutions to those problems. So maybe there is a lot of poverty in your area, so students could work together and come up with a plan to help meet that need and care for people in the area. And along with that, you can always integrate learning standards, have the students write a plan and a proposal, and present their ideas to others, and Expectation number 9 is challenge. So to meet this need, I would have like an hour set aside for small group learning, where students can come and work with me, and I will differentiate what they're working on depending on their skills and needs. So I might have 4 groups visit me, and every single group is doing something different based on what they need. Another way I would meet this need is providing time for exploration activities that allow students to move at their own pace. So again, in project-based learning, the students have their own thing that they're working on, and they're kind of taking it at their own speed, and spending more time on things if they need more time. And third, I would provide additional activities for those students who move really quickly. The last one is application. So I will meet the need for application by teaching with project-based learning, so allowing the students to solve existing problems in the community and allow students to make contributions to their local community. So maybe it's not a need that they notice their community has, but they want to create something to offer their community. I'll also let the students create portfolios where they're creating content and making things that are important to them and interesting to them that they can take away from my class and feel proud of in the future. Maybe even like have writing to use for applications for different clubs or camps or college courses, things like that. I would allow the students to engage in community projects, again, so solving those existing needs, working with professionals in the area to create something that would help. And the last one, I would provide opportunities for students to develop their social skills and increase their own personal development. So I would do this by having counselor lessons that are specifically focused on, developing social skills and problem-solving skills and focusing on their own mental health. And then I would do things like monthly challenges where we're all maybe focused on getting a certain amount of sleep every night and taking breaks and focusing on our mental health each day. And, maybe we're focused on drinking a certain amount of water, eating fruits and vegetables each day. Things that really help the students as individuals thrive and aren't necessarily tied to like learning and learning assignments, but they're helping them develop as individuals. Here is my reference, and thank you so much for watching.